Welcome to the Private Practice with Soul podcast. My name is Dr. Storme, and I help private practice owners align their business back with their soul's calling, with their big vision and with their soul's purpose. Unlike other private practice coaches, I've traveled the world in search of spiritual resources, spiritual tools, education and information so that you can have the transformation that your soul desires and needs so that you can up-level your business. How much fun is this? I love it so much. Guys, if you're not already a member of the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship Group, please check out the show notes. I would love for you to be there. In the meantime, thank you so much for pushing play today. Let's begin. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday and welcome to another episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Storme, and welcome to all of the new subscribers, and thank you so much to everybody for pushing play on yet another episode. We are doing so well with this podcast, and it's all thanks to you. So much love to you. I hope that you had an amazing week. You know, it's Friday as I'm recording this, and Fridays are one of my favorite days in our online Facebook communities. In one group, we're sharing our wins, and it is so nice to see everybody. You know, at the beginning, not many people used to share their wins, but now, like we're nearly a year into it, everybody's jumping in and sharing, and it's so nice and it's so supportive. And I love that we've got this super supportive community out there that's just for counselors. If you want to be in that group, just press pause now, scroll down to the show notes and you can join. There's a little link there for you. And the other group, Counselors Connect, it is such a pleasure to be in there today as well, because I thought, hey, you know what? In the past, there weren't really promotion posts allowed under the old admin. So I thought, no, I want to really give people a space to share their practice with the rest of the world. And so what I've done is created a thread where everybody's sharing their Instagram and they're all following each other and getting a chance to look at what each other does. And it's just a really beautiful way for us all to get to understand where we sit in our community. So if you're in either of those groups, jump into yesterday's posts and share either your wins or share your Instagram, so that we can really start connecting with each other in new and exciting ways that we haven't been able to do before. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Well, do you know what? I'm just feeling super indulgent, and I really want to talk about energy. And the reason for that is because this week I've been going back over some of my old courses. And some of those, as you know, were about, well, shamanic healing and, you know, spiritual energy and energetic work. And I'm applying all of this to business, and I just love it so much. And I know that many of you too love it as well. So I want to link this today to give you an awareness of how these things, like your energy, might be impacting your private practice beyond understanding when we feel drained and when we feel energized. I want to take it further, because I believe that if I can give you this information, you will then be able to go away and take aligned action from it, which will allow you then to take a step further to creating, you know, success in your private practice in the way that really reflects your values and the things that are true and meaningful and important for you. Sound good? Yeah, that's what I thought too. Okay, so it's been said that there are a number of elements to our energy. So, you know, I'm just going to use my psychology background here and integrate that with all my other knowledge. But essentially, you know, if we take some of our knowledge from psych and counseling and everything, we know that some of the elements that impact our energy are around what we think, how we feel, what we really value, like the things that are meaningful to us, our behavior, and of course where we are in this present moment, or our mindfulness or our awareness. Okay, so I want to talk with you about each of those things. So I guess in terms of energy, when we're looking at the aspect of energy when it comes to thinking, this is everything that little voice inside your mind tells you. includes not only, your thoughts, but it includes the things that you say out loud, perhaps even more so, because it's said that when we say things out loud, they have more energy, they have more power. The vibration is stronger because we're required to engage not only, the physical part of our brain, in thinking, but we also then have to activate, the part of our brain that tells our mouth to move, our jaw to move, our tongue to move, the sound to come out. It also tells our ears to hear what we're saying. So it's activating more around us in terms of the physical, which activates more in terms of the vibration. So, words, language, self-talk are all really, 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 really valuable and powerful. Okay, it's also said that words are what's another way of saying it? The exaggerated energy of your thoughts, okay, because of what we just said. Now, the other thing about thoughts is we not only want to look at the things that we're telling ourselves and the things that we're thinking, but also the things that we believe to be true, the things that we're aware of in our conscious mind, and of course, the things that perhaps might be sitting in our subconscious mind. Okay, and our beliefs are really, really important because they are used by our brain to filter the information that comes through. We've discussed before that neurologically, your brain receives 300,000 bits of information per second, but it can only process 2,000, and it uses your beliefs to filter in that information. Otherwise, you'd just be overwhelmed because you get everything, right? And so what you believe to be true is going to determine what you see, hear, know, i.e. your reality. That's why we can have, a whole bunch of people all doing the same thing but have different experiences of it. It's based on their beliefs. So beliefs are very important when it comes to looking at how our energy is impacting our private practice. We're going to talk about this in a bit more detail in a moment. The next thing, of course, is feelings. So again, feelings and or emotion. I think I can't remember who said it. It's like a famous quote. I've seen it on Tony Robbins. I see it on Instagram all the time. But, emotion is energy in motion, right? It's not a new concept. But there's thinking behind that. And what that says is that every single experience that we have in terms of how we're feeling or the emotion that we're experiencing has an energetic blueprint, right? You understand it. Even Abraham Hicks has that scale of, what does she call it? I want to say scale of feeling, but that's not it. Where's my book? Hang on, let me grab my book for you. I'm referring now to, I've got the book in front of me. If you can hear pages turning, it's just me. I've grabbed my book off the shelf called Ask and It's Given. Oh, what does she call it? Is it an emotional intelligence scale? You know what I mean. And what she calls sort of the low emotions sort of sit at the bottom of the scale. Is it the emotional it's not the emotional freedom scale. Oh, come on. Sorry, it doesn't sound very professional, does it? Oh, look, I can't find it. But it's a scale, and basically it says in here that, and this scale wasn't just through Abraham Hicks either. No. Tesla also made a very similar scale, and so did one of his colleagues, and I can put the link in the show notes for you. And the scale shows that there's a lower energy being emitted from our body when we're in a low state of emotion, like depression, versus the highest state that you can be in is appreciation. So everybody talks a lot about gratitude and gratitude being the attitude and stuff like that when it comes to manifesting, but they've got it wrong, because what is even more expansive and what helps you call in more for your private practice is being in appreciation. Appreciation is different to gratitude, as you know. So anyway, understanding that emotion creates energy, and you not only embody that energy, but you send it out around you. And the other thing to understand about energy too, as many of you know, the book The Body Keeps Score, and then a book I've recently been put onto by someone in our group, Bianca. It's called The Secret Language of Your Body by Ina Segal. Also talks about how emotion can be trapped in our body, and we see this a lot too in energetic work in Eastern philosophy and Eastern medicines, right? So again, not new, but we need to understand that emotion is energy, and that energy has an impact on our private practice. The next one too is our behavior. The way we act, what we're doing, how we're showing up, how we're not showing up, and also the things that we're avoiding, procrastinating, not doing. They all create an energetic signature, an energetic imprint that we leave out there in the world. And as you know, what you're doing, the opposite of that, or the flip side of that, is what you're not doing. They're both powerful and they're both equally important. One is not bad, one is not good, but they contain energy, okay? And that energy impacts your practice. The other one too is looking at, your ability to be present. Your ability to be mindful, to sit in this moment and to be really aware of where you're at. And what I mean by that is tuning in to your physical surroundings. Where am I now? What am I thinking now? Who am I being now? What am I experiencing right now? What am I feeling in my body right now? And there are points where we're experiencing strong emotions. And when we have a strong emotion, this identification of where we are in this present moment becomes so much easier to identify than when we're sort of hovering at middle level emotions, okay? So, all these 5 things, okay, the 5 things here, what we're thinking, how we're feeling, what we're doing, what we're aware of. Oh, and also our values, our shadow values, as well as our values that we love to talk about, are so important, because those values kind of sit in our subconscious mind a lot of the time for most of us. We're not always thinking, what do I really value and how am I going to apply that today? No. They just kind of naturally subconsciously drive the way we show up for our practice. But those values are really around what are we connecting to, what's meaningful, what are our non-negotiables. And those non-negotiables help us to stay on our own path, right? They determine what's right for us and wrong for us, what's true for us, what's false for us, what's okay, what's not okay. And those values also have their own energy that they bring to the practice, okay? And here's the thing. These 5 different aspects of energy that you have as a private practice owner, of course, fluctuate, because energy isn't static, right? It goes up and down and in and out and round and round. But these aspects of your energy will come together at different times and influence or impact each other, okay? So maybe, for example, you might ask yourself, how can I be seen more? All right. And maybe you want to, you go and do a course about how to boost your visibility. And in there, they're talking about, you've got to go and do a Facebook Live every day. Well, when you hear about doing the Facebook Live every day, you think to yourself, well, I don't know if this is going to work for me, because you have values, you have doubt, you have that emotion of doubt is really strong. You have imposter syndrome, which is really strong, all of those sorts of things. And unless that course is going to support you in processing any of those things, then you can do everything that course requires you to do, but you're going to struggle. Okay, and you may not get the answers that you're really, 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 really wanting to experience. It's because something's off with your energy. And so I guess the thing that I really want to do now that you understand those different aspects, there are about 5 aspects of energy that are all influencing each other, all interacting together when it comes to your private practice. I want to have a look at how your energy impacts the things that are important to us as private practice owners. And one of those things is I want to have a look at, well, I'm often asked, as you know, in the groups about marketing, right? So think about when it comes to marketing, ask yourself, what kinds of things am I thinking about marketing? What goes through my head? What goes through my mind when I think about marketing the private practice? And just tune into what you're telling yourself to be, to be true. Okay. What do you believe about marketing? Do you believe that you're not good enough to be telling everybody what they should be thinking and feeling and doing? Or do you think that other people know more than you and therefore who are you to be doing this? Do you feel like, what else is going through your mind? When it comes to thinking about marketing, I've said marketing, money, right? What do you think to yourself about money in your private practice? Is it something that you avoid talking about? Are you not even tracking your numbers because you feel so disconnected, or you're avoiding them, or you're procrastinating? Like, what's coming through for you when you think about your numbers? If I said to you, what's your average session fee? Would you know what it is? If I said to you, how much turnover did your practice make in the last 6 months? Would you be able to tell me off the top of your head? And what would you tell yourself if I asked you that? All right. Other types of thinking around your finances might be, in the other direction. Are you asking yourself what you could be doing to improve your financial situation for the practice? Are you taking that next step in your thinking and saying, well, if I reach this financial point with my practice, then I would be able to do X, Y, and Z, right? So have a look at what you're thinking when it comes to things like the common things: marketing, your finances, messaging. What are some of the other big ones? Your website. Have a look at your website. What do you tell yourself? What goes through your mind when you look at your website? Are you happy with it? Is it getting enough inquiries? Are people staying on your website once they get there? Really look at how your thinking is affecting different elements of your private practice. Okay. And now let's also have a look at, what you're feeling and how you're feeling. And you can do this sort of in the present and look at it from, how was I this morning? How am I now? It's lunchtime. How am I now? I'm knocking off. But it's really important to understand, whether or not there are any trapped emotions in your body that are impacting your ability to show up in the way you really, 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 really need to for your beautiful private practice. So are you happy? Are you happy? It's okay if you're not. We can always do something about it, but are you happy? How do you generally feel when you see your diary? How does it feel to see the diary today? How does it feel at the end of the day to see the diary? How does it feel to write that report? How does it feel to sit there with your client? Like, what energy are you bringing to the practice in terms of your emotion, right? What emotional energy are you bringing, and how is that impacting referrals, right? Ask yourself the question. If I'm feeling uncomfortable about, working with new clients, how is that impacting my ability to work with new clients? If I'm feeling energized by working with perfect for me clients, what does that feel like? And what might it feel like for my clients? Ask yourself, when it comes to those areas again, like finding referrals, filling your diary, marketing, your money, what are the emotions that come up in each of those areas? And how might the energy of those emotions be impacting the business? And what do you want to do about it? Okay. And I'm not saying you've got to be happy all the time, but this is about how do we manage emotions when they come up, and raising your awareness around how they might be impacting your energy in the business, and the energy of the business. Okay. The next one is your behavior. So think about when you go to work in the morning, what are the first things that you're doing? Are you turning on the computer and scrolling through emails? Are you opening up the diary first? Are you checking, I don't know, if you've got a fax machine, show my age now. If you've got a fax machine, are you checking the fax machine? Or are you going to making a coffee? Like, what do you do at work? How do you deal with issues when issues arrive at work? Let's say, something happened, a client comes and they decide that, they want to cancel their appointments. Like, how do you deal with that? What's your behavior around that? Do you go and lean on a policy, or do you know what I mean? Like, what's your behavior around it? What's your behavior toward a new client? What's your behavior like with a client that you've known for a while now and you've got a really great relationship with? How's your behavior different, and how's that impacting your business? Okay. Are there things that you're doing that you need to stop doing in order to improve the energy of your practice? And the flip side of that is, are there things that you're not doing that maybe you could be doing to help you reach a goal this year in your private practice and create success in the way that, success really deeply resonates with you? And the next one too is understanding that those things that are important to you, that drive you. Now, we've discussed this in previous episodes. We've looked at your shadow values. We've looked at your, other values that you love to talk about. But understanding how they're impacting your practice will then give you insight as to what's happening for the practice from an energetic perspective, which will allow you then to make any shifts or changes if you need to. Okay, so ask yourself, like, this is a common example. Maybe you're wanting to work on your finances, and you've got to raise, this is a common one, you've got to raise your session fee. So it. Are you doing it? No. So that behavior isn't happening. And then what's happening? What's the energy of you not doing that and raising the fees? Well, the energy is you've got to see a higher volume of clients. Maybe the energy is that doesn't feel so great because now you're on the road to burning out. Maybe you're starting to feel resistant. Maybe you're starting to feel avoidant. Maybe you're starting to get excited when clients cancel. All those sorts of things because you want a break. So really explore more deeply what's going on with your values, because if you value things like, I've got to be the cheapest counselor so that people can get the help that they need, because it's not fair if they can't get help. Well, understand then how that's going to affect you and your ability to help people long term. And then with that new awareness, think about, okay, how can I shift this so that I get to maintain my energy in private practice and, XYZ. The other thing too is looking at, your ability to be really present and in the moment and really tune into what's going on around you physically, energetically, emotionally, spiritually. Like, what's the vibe like right now? And how did this vibe get to be here? And are you happy for it to be here, or does it need to shift and change? Now, the thing is, when we're looking at all of these, personal energy aspects, we want to also link them to those common areas of private practice like marketing and finances and referrals and all of that sort of jazz, but also understand how they connect with each other. So if you have a value, for example, that everyone should be able to get counseling, that's going to result perhaps in you not bumping your fee, which is going to have a long-term impact on your practice and on your health and well-being, okay? And energetically, not fantastic for your clients. So understanding how these 5 elements all work together, you see how values and behavior and awareness is all sort of linked and thinking. So what I'd like you to do, if you're so inclined, is maybe, take a piece of paper and write an area of private practice for you, let's say marketing, and around that, put a little bubble, one for thoughts, one for feelings, one for our behavior, one for, our ability to be present, and the other one for, what we value. And just jot some points down in those little bubbles, and allow yourself to really explore each of those different areas and how they're interacting with each other, and look at whether or not these are working for you, for the practice, helping support the expansion of energy, or whether they're resulting sometimes in a constriction of energy. When you've done that, you will know what to focus on next in your private practice. Okay? So energy is really so important, but it's not often spoken about. We often talk about things, don't we, like the business structure and the business strategy, and give me a plan, and I need a schedule, and all of this sort of stuff. But can you see how the energy of private practice is also so important? It's half of the equation, and that's why with private practice for soul, it's all about how do we not only embody what's true for us and create that authentic private practice from a soul space, but it's also about how do we as private practice owners look at marrying all of this beautiful energetic work with the business structure and strategy, so that we can create the very things that we were put on this earth to create for the clients that really, really need us the most right now. I know, it's so good, isn't it? So good. You could ask yourself, where am I leaking energy in these 5 areas when it comes to marketing, or when it comes to my finances, or when it comes to filling my diary? Where am I leaking energy? You might ask yourself, how is this area reflecting something about me at the moment? So, for example, if you're getting clients say your price is too high and that's why they're not booking in, where are you telling somebody that their price is too high and so you're not booking in with them? If you feel judgy about somebody posting on her social media about a new service or something like that, if that triggers you to see somebody sharing about something she's offering to clients, a product, service, a course, something like, if that really bothers you that another counselor is doing that, then what are you going to attract? And also, what's it bringing up for you, right? Because her posting something has nothing to do with you, right? It's that energy is just neutral energy. You're making it something. You're turning it into something by what you're saying through these lenses here that we've just spoken about, those 5 lenses, all right? And ask yourself, well, if I'm having this reaction to other people doing it, then am I going to get this reaction from others? The answer is probably yes, because you're going to get out what you put back. So how do you want others to react to you when you're promoting stuff? Do you want them to be nasty? Do you want them to be mean? Do you want them to say, oh, she's just grabbing money? She doesn't have any right to say that. She's not an authority. What makes her the expert? Do you want people to say those things to you? No. So don't say them to or about other people. What would you like people to say when you promote? And you're going to have to promote because you're running a business. You will have to market it. You will have to put your offer out there. You will have to put the fees on your website. You will have to have a profile on Psychology Today. You will have to do all of the things. So what do you want other people to say when you put your stuff out there? How do you want them to react and respond to you? Right? Do you want them to say, wow, this is so good. What a needed service. Thank you. Do you want them to say, where have you been all my life? Do you want them to say, oh, this is awesome. Where do I book in? Do you want them to say to you, hey, I'm a fellow therapist and I have people who could really benefit from this. Can I share it? Think about what you want other people to say and how you want them to respond when you market, and take action doing that when other people promote. okay? It's a mirror. It's a reflection. Everything that you see around you is a reflection of your past thinking, feeling, doing, your values, all those 5 things, right? You get to change it though. You get to change it, but you're only going to change it by being aware of where it's been falling over, okay? If you are wanting more positivity in your practice, put out more positivity to other people's practices. If you want more visibility, give other people visibility. Share a post, share one of their programs, share one of their offers, give them a shout out, right? You are going to get back what you put out energetically. If you want to work with your perfect for you clients and you've done that work, put a shout out. But also make sure that you have all of those qualities activated within you. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. Yeah? So make sure if you want somebody that's coachable, make sure you're coachable. If you want somebody that is going to show up, you show up. If you want somebody that raves about you to their friends and colleagues and peers, you start raving about your supervisor or mentor or coach to colleagues and peers and all. Do you see what I mean? It doesn't matter what aspect of the private practice you're looking at. You have to mirror what it is you're seeking. Okay? Because as Rumi said, what you seek is seeking you. It's flow, right? It's all just energy. And it gets to be fun and it gets to be easy. Okay? So yeah, look at the areas of your practice that need a little bit more tweaking and structure and updating in terms of those 5 energy areas, and ask yourself, am I reflecting the things that I want to be receiving? If not, how can I start reflecting these things more? Because do you know what? You encouraging a colleague or you encouraging a client, you're not going to lose anything. That's not going to cost you anything. You're not going to lose any business by being nice to someone. In fact, just the opposite will happen. Right? People will say, wow, she's so supportive of others. And then they're going to like you, and then they're going to know you, and then they're going to trust you. And then, hey, guess what? On carries the business. I know, it's so beautiful and it's so simple when we talk about it like this. But you've got your little, hopefully you've taken some notes about those 5 areas, looking at the areas that might need some adjusting, checking in with yourself and making sure you are embodying in real life all of the things that you want to see in your private practice. And if you need help with any of it, of course, let me know. There are still 2 coaching spots available. If you would like to have a conversation about working together, of course, let me know. And the details are in the show notes. But otherwise, thank you so much for listening to another episode. I really love doing these so much. So, yeah. As I said, it's Friday when I'm recording this, so tomorrow is going to be Saturday, and I'm really excited to get out into the garden and clean up after some storms that we had recently. I think I've still got trees down and the fence is nearly knocked over, so I've got to go and do some tidying up. But I'm really looking forward to being outdoors and moving and getting some sun. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, my lovelies, thank you for listening to another episode, and I look forward to seeing you in the groups. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast today. If you're looking for clarity, if you need help with branding, your processes, and bringing everything into alignment with your soul's purpose for your private practice, head to the show notes and click the link for more information about the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship Group. You are going to love it. I can't wait to see you in there. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.